Hello creative people, this is Emily Green. I am a Spanish illustrator and for a whole year, yes you've heard me correctly, for 365 days, I challenged myself to create one illustration per day. And one of the things that I heard most throughout my journey was that some of you tend to struggle to stay consistent as an artist. So today I decided to spill the beans and talk about 8 things that really helped me to develop a healthy drawing habit. These tips really helped me in my journey as an illustrator, but I think that some of them can apply to your daily routines if you want to cultivate any other healthy habits. So without further ado, let's dive into it. Tip number 1, setting clear goals. This first tip is perhaps the most important because for starters, you need to define what consistency means to you. Is it drawing every day? Is it completing a certain number of illustrations a week? Having clear goals will help you stay focused. In my case, I knew that I wanted to draw every single day because I wanted to become an illustrator and have my very own personal style, and I knew that in order to do that, I would have to dedicate a fair bit of time to drawing, which takes us to our next tip. Tip number 2, setting a schedule. Once you know what your goals are, the best thing you can do is setting a schedule and allocate a specific time each day or week for your art, whether it is 5 minutes or a couple of hours. This way you can prioritize tasks more efficiently. You can also try drawing at different times throughout the day to see what works best for you. For example, because my mornings were free when I started drawing, I decided to dedicate at least 10 to 15 minutes to it right after breakfast. As my routine changed, so did my drawing schedule, and I ended up dividing my drawing time between the mornings and nights because that's what works best for me at the moment. Tip number 3, start small. Think about this. If you wanted to become fit, you wouldn't start by going to the gym for 2 hours a day, 7 days a week, because you would end up being burnt out. And it is exactly the same with drawing. If you start by dedicating a huge amount of time to draw a masterpiece every day, you will end up tired of illustrating. Instead, try and start small. Allocate just 10 minutes a day to draw very simple and easy sketches. You can always add more time over the long run. In my case, I started my journey by sketching 1 or 2 straightforward drawings in my sketchbook, and these simple sketches allow me to find at least 5 minutes, even on very busy days, to create something as simple as a little happy flower. By doing this consistently, I unconsciously trigger a new behavior and build a habit. Tip number 4, create a dedicated workspace. Having a designated art space will help you concentrate on your creative tasks, it will minimize distractions, and it will help you immerse yourself in your art. I find that having a designated space really helps me switch into creative mode. But I think that there is a misconception of what an art space should be, because it doesn't necessarily mean that you need to have a big room to use as an art studio. And don't get me wrong, I think it's fantastic if you have a dedicated studio room. But what I mean by art space is simply a designated spot in the house where you can create art freely. And that can be your favorite spot on the sofa, the kitchen table, your bed, or wherever you feel comfortable diving into your little art world. For instance, my art space was a spare room I use as a studio, but due to moving houses a couple of times, my current designated place for art is my bed, as I no longer have the available space for a studio. And to be honest, I noticed no difference between these 2 spaces because I feel equally comfortable in both of them. So try and find a spot in the house where you feel comfortable enough to create art. Tip number 5, limit distractions. You should set clear boundaries about your art time so you're not interrupted when you're focused, and limit any kind of notifications when you are creating art. Minimizing interruptions during this time will help you maintain concentration, and it will help your creative flow. I found that by doing this, I was able to immerse myself in my art more easily. You can also try and boost your concentration in several ways. For example, I think that listening to music or watching TV series while drawing really helps me to get in the zone, so I'm always listening to something while drawing, but I know some other artists love using noise-cancelling headphones and find them equally helpful. Tip number 6, join art challenges. Art challenges are usually a great way to develop a drawing habit because they are set for a certain day. They allow you to explore new concepts and they push you beyond your comfort zone while developing your artistic skills. I personally think that joining art challenges makes me feel really motivated to draw every day because I know there are other people taking part in them too, and that makes me feel accountable. It makes me commit to sharing my work and encourages me to be more disciplined and consistent. Tip number 7, having a growth mindset. I think most artists struggle to share their work at the beginning because they feel like it's not good enough or that they are not good enough. And believe me, I've been there and I completely understand that situation. But that mindset will take you nowhere. Think that the artists you admire most also had to start somewhere, and if they could make it, so can you. Don't be scared of making things wrong because failures are the way we can learn what works best for us. You need to accept that you will make mistakes and that is okay, because that is what's going to give you the ability to adapt to the situation and keep evolving as an artist. When I was starting my illustrating journey, I soon realized that when I drew one illustration that didn't turn out the way I wanted, I really had two options. I could be sad that I couldn't render it the way I wanted, or I could be proud to show up and learn from what it didn't work. So I chose the latter. Think that having a growth mindset is what will allow you to develop a healthy relationship with art and a healthy drawing habit in which you can explore any artistic possibility without fear of failure. And last but not last, tip number 8, strive for improvement. I cannot stress this enough. Perfection leads nowhere, improvement does. You need to acknowledge mistakes and imperfections are part of the process so you can learn from them and improve your skills as an artist. Think about this. No artist has the perfect style, no artist can produce perfect artworks. But what all successful artists have in common is their ability to see where there is room for improvement and take advantage of it. That willingness to learn is what is going to allow you to create art consistently in a healthy way. In my case, I found that drawing was way easier once I accepted my illustrations were never going to look 100% the way I envisioned them, and that made me want to learn new techniques and truly develop my abilities. So I soon found myself craving that art time every day so I could become a better illustrator. So there you have it. Those are the 8 things that really helped me develop a drawing habit and made me draw every day of the year for a whole year. But before you click away, I've got a question for you. What's your go-to routine that puts you in the mood for drawing? Let me know down there in the comments. Also, if you want to see the end result of this illustration, you can head over to my Instagram account where I post all my illustrations. If you found this video useful, please don't forget to give it a like and subscribe to my channel. Have a lovely day and see you in the next video. Bye!